back in Texas where the Cowboys are hosting on Thanksgiving Day for the 48th time. This game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Gano puts it on a tee. Whitehead is back deep for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys at 3-7, they have no margin for error from this point forward. If you ask me, Jim, I think they got to run the table to get a chance to get to the playoffs. They believe they can do it. They've had big winning streaks before. It's an awful good football team they're playing against today. Romo will come out to the 20. He is the man who not only is the one that's really touting this stretch that they could have ahead. The players believe in him. He's filled with optimism. Of course, he won the first 2 games of the season, got injured in that second one. They didn't win a one when he was out for those 7 weeks. Come back last week, they win again. Tyron Smith, a very impressive Dallas line. Witten, 6 catches away from 1,000 on his career. But this is the healthiest Dallas has been at any point this season. Starting this one today. McFadden's the running back, and they're going to give him a handle here for a pickup of 4. Tackled by Charles Johnson, who just rejoined the lineup after being on IR, designated to return. Jared Allen, they acquired him first month into the season, a trade with the Bears. Kuechly, former defender of the year. This is a defense. This kid Norman, he's sensational. He'll see a lot. You got to think of Des Bryant today. But they gave up only 14 yards rushing to the Redskins last Sunday, and that's an all-time mark by the Panthers defense in their franchise history. On 2nd and 6, Romo going for a deep ball here, and it is in and out of the hands and broken up there by Roman Harper along with Josh Norman. Des Bryant, for a moment I thought he might come away with it. Yeah, good timing that time by Josh Norman. You watch it the last second. He turns around and sees the football. That is played perfectly. And we talked to Josh Norman last night. Loves the fact that he gets a goal against the other team's best receiver. Really looking forward to going against Des Bryant. And excellent start and a confidence builder for a corner who plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. Says it inspires me facing the best wide receiver on the other team. He's got 4 picks. And he's run 2 of them back this year. 3rd and 6. Romo from the pocket. He is picked off. It's intercepted by Kurt Coleman. And Coleman breaks the tackle. He's at the 10. Gets around Witten, and he's going to find the end zone. Carolina, 59 seconds into the game, is on the board. They are great. This Carolina defense, linebackers and defensive backs, they read the quarterback. Look at Kurt Coleman. Tony Romo didn't look far enough in front of the receiver, and you saw it, Jim. How about that? He was just sitting there and praying on Tony Romo when he threw it. He made the cut, the interception, and a very good run back. Coleman's 5th pick of the year, a 45-yard return. And the Panthers defense comes right out and makes a statement here on Romo and the Cowboys. Gano with the extra point out of a hole by Nortman. J.J. Jansen is the Boston. And that's a 7-point start here for Carolina. 3rd play of the game. Coleman, the safety, takes it back for the score. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play and score, every game, every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now. CBSSports.com/mobile. We were here 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, and the Raiders were the opponent. The Raiders scored a touchdown, actually, on a fumble return on the opening kickoff. We got a quick 7 on them on that day before the Cowboys controlled it the rest of the way that day. Now, well, what happened here, Phil? Couple things. I think Tony Romo's he thinks the safeties are going to do that. But watch Kurt Coleman. He stays inside. Tony Romo doesn't read it right. He's watching the quarterback, cuts across, and makes the interception. So they're very good at disguising defenses. They read the quarterback. Why, Jim? Because they know their pass rush. It's good, and the quarterback doesn't have all day to throw the football. 97 takeaway points. Now with the top takeaway margin in the league, the Panthers. As McFadden's going to get back 4. Look at Kuechly come up. By the way, did you notice on that touchdown return as Dez Bryant and Josh Norman, here they are on the near side 40. Now the return's happening, and these two are having a little chat, establishing parameters for the rest of this game. Look, here's the run back. They didn't even watch it.
You know, I'm laughing, but I'm not. Because if Dez Bryant would have took off, the run was going to come back right his way. He could have maybe made a tackle inside the 10-yard line on that interception.
2nd and 14. The fake to McFadden rolling out, and he's got Witten within 2 of a first. That's a gain of 12. Having a pass like that run back on you early, what does it do to you?
Well, I don't care who you are. It can shake your confidence a little bit. That's why they came out there, Jim, and you moved Tony Romo to make the decision easier so he can find a passing lane and get himself into this football game. So there's no doubt. He admitted it. I watched it. You watched it. A lot of rust on his game after 7 weeks off, but he did get sharper last week as the game went on.
3rd and 2. Cowboys pass that. Was intended for Terrence Williams, and the Panthers defense takes it right off the field after 3 plays. Been Wickery.
Well, people keep asking me, are the Panthers for real? Look, you can't get lucky in the NFL and go 10-0. You might get lucky and win a game or two. The defense, when you watch it, it has depth. They play a lot of players, and really no true weakness on any level as you watch them play.
Ted Ginn Jr. back at the 25, waiting for Chris Jones, who's had a good solid year here punting for the Cowboys, especially his directional punting. He's going to earn himself a fair catch at the other end, 50-yard boot. We'll see Cam Newton. He was out there chest bumping Kurt Coleman after the touchdown. He comes onto the field with a 7-point lead. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. American Express this small business Saturday. Show up and shop small. And by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. Good luck to Coach Scott Smiley at Fort Worth Christian. They're getting ready for their state semifinal game Saturday against Grapevine Faith Christian. Good luck to both teams. All right, here's Cam Newton. Right in the heart of the MVP discussion, coming off his personal best 5-touchdown performance just last week. With a double tight end set, they'll go with Jonathan Stewart. And that's Heath who comes up to hit him first, but it picks up 5. That offensive line includes Michael Orr protecting Cam Newton's blind side. Jonathan Stewart, by the way, 102 yards against the Redskins last week in what was his 100th career start and his 13th career 100-yard performance. He's had a good season. Second and 5 here for Carolina. They bring Olsen into the backfield. Cam keeps it. Sean Lee has hold of him, and it's maybe a yard. The Dallas defense would shut out Miami in the second half on Sunday. You got Greg Hardy going against his former team. They got Rolando McClain, who had a pick 6 in the win against the Dolphins. And Byron Jones, their first-round pick. And what a find he was out of UConn. I don't know if you say a first rounder is a fine, but they are absolutely ecstatic about the rookie's play this year. Jericho Cotchery comes in as the 3rd receiver on 3rd and 5. And Newton with time, and now he has to go downfield and hits Cotchery at midfield. Boy, they protected him. And just before the Cowboys were finally closing in on him, he unloaded it for 24.
This says it all about Cam Newton. Look, he looks right, doesn't like it, turns back, and sees Cotchery coming across the field. Everybody says, oh, he's a quarterback that likes to run. No, he is a pocket passing quarterback who only runs when there's no other option. Giving Cotchery the extra time, gave him a big completion.
He got hit after he threw it by the rookie Randy Gregory. But here he is on first down from the Dallas 49. Open is Olsen. And he's got a gain of 7. How about all this talk? And certainly deserving of it in the MVP chatter about Cam Newton.
The offense fits him perfectly. He deserves to be in the chatter about the MVP. Still a long way to go, but we've seen what illustrates this offense already. They got a powerful offensive line. They are tough. They have a complicated running game, and they got a quarterback that's willing and can stand in the pocket and let people get deep down the field and make the throws.
Running play, picks up the first down. Jonathan Stewart, a couple of Cowboys come crashing in there, but it's another 7-yard gain.
Well, there's so many good linemen when you talk about watch Ryan Khalil, the center, little unbalanced line there, gets a good block. They couldn't get off. Rolando McClain tries to get away from the center, can't do it, and Stewart picks up good yards. There's only so much you can do on defense, Jim, because of the run game and a mobile quarterback. You have to try to keep your eyes on Cam Newton.
He's got a first down at the 35. Stewart looking for some opening. He waited long enough to find room for 4. Again, Sean Lee on the tackle. This holiday night on CBS, catch Holmes and Watson at their very best. Don't miss a new episode of Elementary tonight at 10, 9 Central, only CBS.
Now, talked about what you're limited on the defensive side. I think if you're the Carolina Panthers, Greg Hardy, number 76, very good pass rusher for the Dallas Cowboys, plays all 4 positions on the defensive line. You have to be alert where he is at all times.
2nd and 6. Pass a little bit, maybe too hot and high for Olsen. It had some steam on it.
Well, I will say this, and you know, Cam Newton will miss some of these throws today where guys get open because he throws it so hard, and it will get away from him high. But the one thing is, Jim, if you have a chance to catch it, even because he throws it so hard, you can see the rotation. If you get your hands on it, it'll stick to those gloves.
2nd, 3rd down, the Panthers have faced on their first offensive possession. 2 on the play clock. And Newton takes the snap from the 31. It's off the hands of Jonathan Stewart. And we'll see a long field goal attempt coming up from Gano.
Well, kind of hard to. I thought for sure Cam Newton was going to call a timeout. Didn't seem really convinced in what he was trying to do. He does so much work at the line of scrimmage, and he couldn't figure out what to call, what play to go with. And the Dallas Cowboys defense, give them credit. Good stand by them.
Here's Gano, who's made 21 of 25 this year. 49-yard attempt. And the kick is good. Graham Gano. The Panthers put up 3. The first time they touch it. They got that interception return in the first minute. And it's a 10-0 lead for the visitors. On that Gano field goal, Byron Jones just annihilated Gano after the kick, but no flag, Mike Carey.
Yes, well, you see the hit is pretty hard, but it's affected by the push by the offensive player. And once an offensive player pushes someone into the kicker, there will be no foul.
It was Ed Dixon.
Well, when you run that fast, let's be honest, he can run fast. And you just push him a little bit, they're going to go off course and fly through the air, and that's why we saw the contact.
Gano, even getting walloped like that, he's fine, and he gets the touchback.
Well, Jim, let's just show you how interceptions happen. 360 eye vision here. Look what Tony, he says, oh, Jason Witten is uncovered and wide open. But Jason Witten is coming right to Kurt Coleman, makes the interception easy.
Cowboys have run 6 plays here in the first 7 minutes, have not picked up a first down. Jason Garrett, the first Cowboy player to ever become the Dallas head coach. Here's the fake to McFadden. Romo looking for options, and he flips it over back to McFadden. And McFadden's got a gain of 20 out of bounds at the 40.
This is what we kind of saw last week from Tony Romo, and that's what really propelled him to a victory. Couldn't get out of the pocket, but somehow looks backside and sees Darren McFadden break away from the pack. And the thing about it is, he can always find the next receiver, Tony Romo. It's the same system he's been under for many years, and he can go from one receiver to the next as fast as any quarterback in football.
Hannah in as the extra tight end on a first down carry. Straight ahead, McFadden pushes the pile for about 3. And let's check in. Tracy Wolfson.
Jim, Tony Romo is 6-2 on Thanksgiving, and boy, would he like to get a win over the undefeated Panthers to add to the memories he has on this day. Jason Garrett telling us it's a privilege to play on this day. As for Cam Newton, it's his first Thanksgiving game, but he said he has dreamed since a kid of playing on this field on this day, and he said to now be relevant and do it with something special, something meaningful, means a whole lot more, Jim.
Yeah, Cam was as eloquent as we've ever found anyone about playing on Thanksgiving Day, expressing what it meant to him and to his brothers. As the pass comes over to Whitehead, wide receiver screen, picks up about 3. It'll be 3rd down for Dallas.
Well, you said it, Cam Newton. A lot of things to talk about. For one, you got to talk about the way he dressed when he came in. That was pretty fun. Not funny, but it was. You couldn't help but talk about it.
As sharp as it gets.
Yeah, had, what would you call it? Sparkling shoes on.
Velvet with some diamond studs.
There you go. That's well said.
Yep. 3rd and 4.
See this a lot. The Carolina defense, they like to get up inside both linebackers. Tony Romo knew this was coming, and he says, I got the answer for these mugging linebackers.
They rush 6. Open man. It is Beasley for the Cowboys to the Carolina 35. A gain of 17.
Beasley, Cole Beasley on the right side. Here come the linebackers. This time they do blitz. Really good job picking it up. Darren McFadden gets enough of the linebacker to give Tony Romo time. This is a matchup the Cowboys must love. Colin Jones against Cole Beasley, especially with that technique. Cole Beasley runs a lot of inside quick routes. You got to get tighter if you want to cover him.
Romo has hit 4 different receivers, but not Des Bryant to this point. And McFadden for a couple. Next Thursday, rivalry matchup between the Packers and the Lions on CBS and NFL Network. And just a reminder, in 2 weeks' time, the Vikings and the Cardinals. That will have all kinds of playoff seeding implications. That'll be on NFL Network only in 2 weeks. But again, Green Bay, Detroit, CBS, and NFL Network a week out. And the Lions are going to come into that game having won 3 straight today. Absolutely demolishing the Philadelphia Eagles behind Stafford's 5 touchdown passes. 2nd and 8. And Romo hesitating because nothing's there. And now takes off and flings it downfield. Over the shoulder, but out of bounds was Des Bryant. Kuechly was the one all the way down there with Des.
Well, good job. Luke Kuechly seeing Des Bryant going down the sideline and picking him up, and he is out of bounds. Second foot doesn't come down anyway. But the big thing was the pass protection. This is a very good defensive line Carolina has, and the Cowboys' offensive line just pushed them all inside, gave Tony Romo the extra time to look for the big play.
3rd and 8. They failed to pick up any yardage. It would be about a 51-yard field goal attempt.
Looks like its own defense. Tony Romo changed the play.
Wide open in the middle field. McFadden. He's got the first down. The ball comes out when he hits the surface, but they rule him down. That's Terrence Williams just in case scooping it up, but it's a gain of 14, and they'll move the sticks.
Too easy for Tony Romo. The defense drops back. He knows it's a zone defense. He all the way is just looking and just waiting for Darren McFadden to come into his eyesight. Contact.
No question, he was
question.
down.
That's right.
Devin Street comes in for Dallas as a wideout. They load up the left side from the Panthers 14. Des Bryant not out there for this play. And they run it with McFadden securing it with both hands. Got a yard, maybe two. Tonight, a festive night of comedy on CBS. Big Bang Theory, new episodes of Life in Pieces, Mom, and Two Broke Girls. It all starts tonight at 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
You know, you talk about Tony Romo, and it's not just what he does on the field as a player. We know that, but it's the confidence he gave to his teammates, to his coaches, to the play designers. The coaches now know they can put their whole offense in, and they can call it differently because they have so much faith in him.
He's got Bryant back out there, 2nd and 9. Coming back for it is Beasley, who's able to stumble ahead as he was tripped up for a moment by Norman. And the Cowboys have it inside the 10. 1st and goal to go.
On the outside, Josh Norman plays it inside. What a good throw by Tony Romo. Low and to the outside to make sure there's no way the defense can jump the throw while it's in the air for the interception. And Cole Beasley, excellent after the catch.
Cowboys have it just inside the 8. McFadden right into the arms of Jared Allen. Boy, Jason Garrett talking to his team about, do you believe in me? He gave this great analogy about a Michael Jordan story late in his career as an example of how the story ended with him telling his team how much he believed in them.
That's right. Michael Jordan was told by Doug Collins, you can still do it. And that's what he basically said to his football team. I believe in you. We can still do this. And I think, of course, the players believe in themselves.
He said, stay aggressive, stay downhill. And here's Romo's pass incomplete. That was Thomas Davis. And some folks here were begging for a flag, but they're not going to get it.
Well, they won it with Luke Kuechly against Jason Witten. Jason Witten is going to come open for the touchdown. Number 82 coming in the bottom of our screen. Watch their feet. Ooh. Tell you, Luke Kuechly, it could have been accidental tripping, but actually looks like he stuck his right foot out.
Well, look at this one. This is what the crowd is howling about. He's definitely, Davis was there before the ball arrived. Mike Carey.
Foul for pass interference on that one. Got there a little bit too quick. Pass interference should have been called.
12th play of the drive, and it's a 3rd and goal. It's Beasley on the ground, and he has the ball broken up. Ben Wickery, the one who denied it.
The throw, if it's on target, it might get there, but Coney Ely, number 94, hits Tony Romo. Again, coming inside. They love these type of routes. Boy, Ben Wickery almost took it out of his hands and ran it back. Yeah, Tony Romo kind of didn't step into the throw the way he wanted to. Threw it just behind Beasley. Kept it from maybe getting in the end zone.
You ready for this? They called that a catch and said Beasley was down. Caught it, was on his knees, there was contact. Even though the ball came out later, they ruled him down, so it goes as a catch. Still ends up being a field goal situation from 21 out for Bailey, and a kick is good. Yeah, they call that a catch.
It never even occurred to me that it was.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mobile Strike. Download and play now, free from the App Store. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Here at AT&T Stadium with the Legends culinary team cooking up all kinds of Thanksgiving favorites. Dropped off a little here at the back of the booth, which we greatly appreciate.
Yeah, you and I enjoyed it, and Mike Carey stood back there for about an hour and truly had a Thanksgiving feast.
He did. Took care of it for all of us. So the Cowboys get it inside the 10, 1st and goal to go, and have to settle for 3 as Bailey sends it down the way. Deep. (10-3) Panthers. Minute to go in the 1st quarter. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, I'm Ron Torbert. On behalf of my crew and the entire NFL officiating family, we'd like to wish you and your families happy Thanksgiving.
Ron Torbert and all the crew.
You know what was impressive about that? I watched him do it in pregame. He did it in one take.
That's right.
One take. So
this is just the second drive for Carolina. Cam changing things up, but play clock is running down. Just got it away in time, and he slings it. It's tipped away by McLean, who had designs on getting a pick for the second straight week. And 14 straight regular season wins for this franchise. Remember, they were 3-8-1 last year when they lost at Minnesota. One out, won the division, won their first game in the wild card round before getting knocked out divisional round at Seattle. Second and 10. Stewart. Nowhere to go. Ron Rivera in his 5th year and well on his way to winning this NFC South division for the 3rd straight year. His 75th game as the head coach at Carolina. What a job he's done.
what a job. Patience by the owner and the organization. Gave him a chance. Didn't have to worry about his job. And now they have constructed a football team exactly the way he wants it. Big and physical, an offense that can run with power and throws it down the field.
3rd and 10 for his Panthers. Cowboys back off the blitz. Rush 3 and a pass on the mark to Olsen. Tiny window and Newton found it for 24.
Well, going down the seam to the left of your screen. And there is really no window. It's the fact that it got there so quick that Brandon Carr, nice little double move by Greg Olsen. Brandon Carr is all over, but Cam Newton does not hold back when it comes to throwing the football with speed.
Boy, that's the second time on 3rd and long. Cam's completed a pass for 24 yards. End of 1. And Carolina is on top 10-3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Carolina Panthers brass. You've got the president right there on the front row standing up, former AD at TCU, Danny Morrison. And on the back row, Rosalind and Jerry Richardson, the owners. And back in '93, when Mr. Richardson brought the Panthers into the league, it became the first man since George Halas to have played in the NFL and become an owner.
Challenge the ruling on the field on the previous play of a completed catch. We'll review the play. Timeout.
So they're going to challenge the catch that closed out the first quarter for the big gain. Jason Garrett is burning because they should have never challenged this.
After the review, the ruling on the field of a completed catch is confirmed. Dallas is charged with their first time out of the half. The clock will start on the snap.
Got some bad info, that's for sure, from up top. And this was the easiest one you'll ever see, Mike Carey.
Yeah, that was easy. And he got in there because even though there was a quarter break, it has to have a legal snap before he cannot challenge. But, boy, he'd like to have that one back. It was a clear catch.
Well, you picked it up, Jim. He was walking up and down the sideline talking to himself because the information he got from above, he saw something entirely different than what we saw.
He reached a whole new shade of red. He was burning. So first play, quarter 2, it's Stewart. Wiggling to the outside and taking it to the Dallas 49. Gain of 7.
You got to be so careful in this run game. You say, oh, it's going to be the zone read. He's going to go across the formation. But no, he cuts it back. And look at the block by number 88, Greg Olsen. You know, I kind of was talking about, man, they should send him out more on passes. He's got Sean Lee. Good job of sealing it. But once you really study this Carolina Panthers offense, you realize the value of Greg Olsen, his blocking in pass and the run, and, of course, going down the field to catch the ball.
2nd and 3 from the gun. Brings it over to the sideline, and that is Funchess. And he's got what looks like the first down.
Yeah, this guy, we talked about power run, but they power pass. Look how long he stands in the pocket, doesn't worry about getting hit, and rips it down the field. So, Jim, when you say he fires the football,
I mean it. Yeah.
I mean it today.
That's right.
Not just a cliche that we hear all the time.
Said he learned to throw the football from his father, Cecil, who actually played safety at the college level at Savannah State and was signed by Gil Brandt and the Dallas Cowboys. He went through the camp back in 1983 and was one of the last cuts. First down and a flag out as Newton's breaking tackles to the 42, but it's probably going to be a hold call against Carolina.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
First penalty is a hold call against Khalil.
Michael Orr against Greg Hardy, a matchup we want to watch all day long. Gets around that time to the outside. The hold was inside by the center, Ryan Khalil. But we have not said Greg Hardy's name yet, Jim. Offensive line of Carolina doing a good job. Of course, they keep you off balance with all the different runs, and the fact you got to be careful because the quarterback can run too.
Here's first and 20. And that's to Burson. Brenton Burson for a gain of 12 in this season of giving. We'd like to give thanks to all of you for once again making CBS America's most watched network. Happy Thanksgiving from everyone at CBS.
Well, the Dallas defense, Jason Garrett, all they talked about, let's don't turn the football over. Let's see if this Carolina defense, offense, gets a lot of really good field position because of the great defense. Can they drive it the length of the field and score?
Here's 2nd and 8. Hit when he threw it, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. Cowboys, though, starting to apply a little pressure on Newton here.
They are. I think David Irving that time, number 95, hits Cam Newton's arm. Yes, he did.
Hardy was starting to come around the corner.
Is the football in his hand as he lets the football, as it goes forward? Or was it knocked loose? Ruling on the field was incomplete.
Well, the Cowboys just lost a challenge. So they're going to let that one go. 3rd and 8 coming up. And that's going to be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, crowd noise. He can see the clock, but you know Ryan Khalil is up the center. He's trying to figure out who everybody's got to block. So he can't see the play clock. He needs somebody to alert him that it's going down.
Ball spotted back at the 48, bringing up 3rd and 13. Newton's had 2 big pass plays on 3rd and long already. And now shakes off the hit by Hardy and takes off running within about 3 of the first. Did he get deep enough to bring out Gano as a 10-yard run? Or will they go for it here?
They keep Greg Hardy. They almost double team him, but he keeps coming with great effort. I was going to say maybe they would go for it on 4th down here, but Ron Rivera likes his defense, likes the way the game is going. Don't give momentum to this Cowboy football team. That's why he's punting the football.
Yeah, 3 options. Could have gone for it 4th and 3. Could have tried a 56-yard field goal, but they're going to punt it. Option is the one that Rivera goes with. It's Brad Norton. Little pooch punt off the side of the foot.
Yeah. I think it was more off the side of the foot than it was a pooch punt, but
A pooch shank. How about that?
I like it. New term.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. Hurry in to the Chrysler Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event. Snickers. Snickers satisfies. And by In the Heart of the Sea in theaters December 11th. Cowboys awfully proud of their art collection, something very important to Mrs. Jones. Most recent acquisition, that sculpture you saw there from Ellsworth Kelly. It's like walking through the Sims house in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, all that art.
Yes, sir. I can't disagree.
Turbin is the running back for the Cowboys, and the former Seahawk burst ahead for about 8. Now, he was cut by Seattle a long time. I say long time, his 4th year in the league, but he had been backing up for several years. Marshawn Lynch. Seattle let him go. Cleveland picked him up. We were with Cleveland earlier this month, and he was running 3rd team there. They let him go. Dallas now finds him in a position to make him the backup.
Shows up on a Wednesday, gets to practice. We saw him against Miami. Jason Garrett likes him because he runs straight ahead with power.
2nd and 2, it's Turbin again.
Like that.
Yeah, that's a first down. Even with K1 short on his back. All right, Next Gen Stats are presented by Esurance. Insurance for the modern world. Two carries by Turbin. Brings the football out to about the 27. Keekly looking across the way. The cheap to his right side, but the ball is going the other way, and it's incomplete. Still trying to get Dez Bryant the football for the first time. No catches. Targeted 3 times.
Well, Josh Norman is covering him sometimes in man-to-man coverage. We saw this early. And what really helps, we've had some battle, is we've talked about it, Jim, right from the start. Keekly and Davis so fast underneath when crossing wide receivers, just like we saw Dez Bryant that time, they're able to get up there and run with them and make Tony Romo throw it away.
Gonna have a pre-snap penalty here on the Cowboys.
Well, start. Offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
There's one other thing when you see this Carolina defense. If the Cowboys score, and like last week, they wore down the Miami defense and ended up winning the game because of their power in doing that. But when you talk about Carolina's defense, it's so deep, especially along the defensive line, that it's hard to tire them out because they rotate so much.
First penalty on the Cowboys makes it 2nd and 15. Romo hit when he threw it. It's Turbin, and he's hammered down for 1.
Push in the pocket. Couldn't tell which one's doing it, but boy, you're talking about some big power up inside. Lotu Lele is one, K1 short, and Jared Allen, even though we haven't talked about him yet today, has done a good job since he's been in Carolina, helping against the run game. And of course, with Charles Johnson when he was injured, he came in and did a good job rushing the passer.
3rd and long for Romo and the Cowboys.
Has 59. You're good.
Heaving it way down the field and over the head of Dez Bryant, who actually was a little bit free in the secondary.
Yes, he was. Tony Romo moved up in the pocket. The zone kind of broke down, but here's what happens when you're moving forward as a quarterback. The football is just going to go farther. A little in double move, so he ran across the field and was going up, and when he steps up, he just puts a little too much juice on the football. Boy, Dez Bryant, if he throws it across the field, it's a big play.
Chris Jones. The 2nd punt of the game. Was there contact there? It's recovered up right away anyway by the Carolina Panthers.
I'm not sure. It looked like, Jim, that it hit a Dallas Cowboy player.
That's right off the back of Marlowe.
You're right.
It was Dean Marlowe hit the back of his leg, and He was smart enough to alertly fall on it. NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes. Every day, run, jump, and race to Super Bowl 50 with the free NFL Play 60 app. Download today or learn more at NFLRush.com. 10-3, Panthers lead it. The game's only touchdown. An interception returned by the Panthers, Kurt Coleman. Zone read, and that's an 11-yard gain there for Cam Newton.
Well, something they did there, Jim, was interesting. Look how they stacked the receivers outside. There's so few people inside that Cam Newton right away says he doesn't always read it, but that time, that's why they called the play. He read Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy chased the running back, and he kept the football for a good gain.
And with that run, Newton, for the season, goes over 400 yards rushing. Got the short throw to his tight end, his favorite target. Greg Olsen, gain of 7. Yeah, this season for Cam, it has all come together. The 20 touchdown passes, 5 of them coming just last week against the Skins. He tied Steve Berline's team record with the 5 touchdown throws.
Well, I'll say this. When you look at Cam Newton, he's as valuable to this football team as you can imagine. And it just goes case in point. When you look at quarterback numbers, they can lie because they lie about him because he's playing a heck of a lot better than some of those numbers say.
A 2nd and 3. Here he's heaving it down the field again. Open target. And it's Devin Funchess, their rookie, taken out of Michigan in the 2nd round. He just got his first start last week, and he's coming on the last 3 weeks. Picks up 15.
Well, he looks like a different receiver than the one I saw at the University of Michigan. He just looks trimmer, looks faster, and of course he's just catching on to the pro football game. And Ron Rivera said it, Kelvin Benjamin getting hurt has made, which he did in preseason, has made Cam Newton look at all the receivers instead of just 1 or 2.
Quick throw over to Kutchery. 2 Cowboys wait for him. Hold him to a gain of 3. Yeah, this kid Funchess, he had 7 catches through the first 7 games, but now, including a quarter of action here, his last 3 games and a quarter, he's now up to 11 grabs, including a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, he looks the part. I'll say that. He's tall, lean, big target to throw to. And, of course, if you haven't noticed when you're watching this game today, Carolina's basically big at every single position on the football field.
That's the thing. That kid has size. Like Kelvin Benjamin, who they'll look forward to having back next year. Had a big rookie year. Set up screen. Stewart works that sideline within a yard or 2 of the first. Running behind Norwell.
Ooh, man, did they work. This offensive line, watch him pull out. Norwell, he's back this week. Had a hamstring injury. But what a good job. Get out on Sean Lee, who is fast and hard to hit, especially in the open field. Good job of doing it that time by Norwell.
We got a Cowboy player down on the Carolina Panthers side of the field. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly. And by Fallout 4 in stores now. Rated M for mature. Got a 3rd and 1 coming up here for Carolina. DeMarcus Lawrence was the injured Cowboy, but he got up and was able to jog to the other side of the field to the Dallas bench.
Well, big 3rd and 1. You love your offensive line. It's powerful. You got a big quarterback. There's no reason to think that they would run this football twice if they need to pick up a first down.
Tolbert. Hopping around Cam Newton. Takes the handle, and big Mike Tolbert has the first down. Short yardage specialist. He can do a whole lot of things. One of the unsung heroes on this team, former Charger.
Yep, great hands, believe it or not. You look at him, Don Niningham kind of looks like it, but yeah, he knows the situation and just, that's a name from way back, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
the Colts.
But he knew the situation. Like we said, big, strong offensive line. There was no doubt they'd run the football twice if they had to get that first down.
And it's a first down at the Dallas 29 with 6 minutes to go, quarter 2. Toss, Stewart, 3 Cowboys converge right away. including Mincy. They're in a hurry. David Irving as well.
Well, this time, if they can get outside, Tolbert is going to be blocking the linebacker, but Mincy did a good job forcing the run back inside, nowhere to go. Good play by the defense.
And Jeff Heath helping out as well. So Stewart, 6 carries, 21. Bonzie Whitaker now the running back. 3 plays, these last 3 plays, 3 different backs. 2nd and 12. Flags down at the line of scrimmage as Cotchery takes off with it. And he is shoved out of bounds.
Cam Newton saw that it was man-to-man coverage, changed the play, had Cotchery coming across the field. Boy, what a valuable person he has been so far this year.
Illegal shift by the offense. All 11 players were not sent to a second after the shift. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Takes away a 14-yard completion to Cotchery.
Yeah, big play. They're the 2 up top. Cam Newton gets the snap. They weren't set for that 1 second that you'd have to be steal. That was a big penalty against the Carolina offense.
DeMarcus Lawrence returns to the Dallas defensive front. 2nd and 17, Panthers. Straight drop back. Gets away from the pressure and takes it to the 30. Scrambles for 6 more.
Well, as I said, he's a pocket passer, but if you make him run, he will. The coverage down the field is good. He feels the pressure.
You see Gregory able to run right with him. The rookie out of Nebraska chases him down, sets up 3rd and long. Call it 3rd and 11. Cam had every intention of keeping it all the way. Picks up 5, and they'll bring back out Gano for a field goal try from outside of 40.
Well, this is the way Ron Rivera is going to manage this. We saw the punt in a situation we thought it's Norwell pulling around. You see the good blocking. Remmers gets a good block, but he was playing to just get better position for the field goal try.
43-yard try it'll be, Phil. Gano making one from 49 in the first quarter. And Gano splits the uprights. 13-3 Panthers up by 10.
Hi, I'm Thomas Davis of the Carolina Panthers, and along with my wife Kelly and our kids, Sky, Denham, TJ, and Maddie, and the entire Panthers organization, we would like to wish you a Happy Thanksgiving.
And you saw the trophy in the backdrop. That's the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, which Thomas Davis won last year. What a great credit that man is to the National Football League.
Boy, he sure is. And you know, we haven't had a chance to really talk about him today. When you talk about Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, they are playing a tremendous game, but there's a lot of good defensive players out there to talk about when you watch Carolina play.
Well, the Cowboys to 101 total yards so far. All right, let's take a look at next-gen stats presented by Esurance.
Well, Jim, as you look at this, Carolina, they play an extra nickel coverage, an extra defensive back, the most in the NFL. You see how many yards they allow per play, 4th best in the league. And why do they play so much substituted defense? Well, look at those defensive linemen up front. We just talked about the linebackers. So when you play them, you want to spread out and give your offense a better chance. That's why they always have that extra defensive back in there.
Cowboys 3:27 to go before halftime. 2 timeouts. Remember, they lost the one on the failed challenge at the turn of the quarter. Fakes the quick throw, hands it to McFadden, and the Panthers pounce on him. And a loss of 3. There you go. That was A.J. Klein that time.
A.J. Klein comes inside, reads it so fast, and makes the tackle now. He gets lost in the shuffle, too. Him and Shaq Thompson, 2 linebackers.
Stunned here in Arlington, Texas. The Cowboys brimming with confidence, getting Romo back a week ago, and Tony comes back, leads them to a road win at Miami, and everybody talking around here about can they run the tables, go 9-7. They felt that would be good enough to win the division, but a couple of interception returns. That has got to be a shocker right now if you're number 9. Second time all time the Panthers have had 2 interceptions for touchdowns in the same game. Now, what about Tony taking the field here, and what's going on in his head right now?
Well, look, lots of time to go, so he should be patient here in this situation. Just try to find a way to get some first downs, to get a little confidence in yourself, the football team. If you find a way to get a field goal try or a touchdown before halftime, of course, that would be great. But look, it's not like the Cowboys defense is getting shredded by the Carolina offense. So,
well, it's a defense that forced 5 turnovers against the Redskins. Picking right up where they left off Sunday. First down throw, and in traffic, and it's Kuechly right back with another one. Can you believe it? Back-to-back plays. Kuechly brought down by Williams at the 28.
well, I'm not going to say he was impatient this time. I saw it right from the go. Jason Witten going down the middle of the field. I thought he had him, but it's the aggressive style. Kuechly undercuts it, but it's the hit that comes in here, knocks it. Well, no, it isn't the hit. Kuechly just took the football. What a play by him. You think your tight end's going to beat him? Man, what a catch. Didn't see it live. I saw it on the replay. That is tremendous.
Look at Coleman launching into Witten, taking him out as Kuechly comes up with grabs on the last 2 plays from scrimmage. You got Dez Bryant without a catch, but you got Kuechly with 2.
Boy, just tremendous play by a tremendous athlete.
And now trying to strike right off of it. They're going to go over to Stewart. Cowboys push him aside at about the 22.
Everything that the Cowboys wanted in this game today was to make Carolina see if they can move the football down the field without the turnovers by their defense. And, of course, that's not worked out very well. 3 interceptions by Tony Romo.
Just doused himself with a cup of water here, trying to shake off the shock. He's 8 for 17 for 82 yards and been picked 3 times. 2 have been run back. We've reached a 2-minute warning. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Coach Cowher, Bart, and Boomer. Their analysis of the first half here coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Plus, you're going to see live from the field here, Luke Bryan's performing at halftime. Luke Kuechly took care of business here in the first half to this point. Luke Bryan will take care of halftime. 2nd and 3. That picks up the first down. Scooting ahead is Stewart for 5, and Tracy, down to you.
Jim, we didn't see safety Barry Church out there on the last drive. He got hurt. It was a right calf injury. They are telling me his return right now is questionable, Jim.
So we've got Jeff Heath out there for Barry Church.
Yeah, Barry Church was the guy they were hoping to match up against Greg Olsen when they wanted to play some tight coverage. But Heath, watching the last couple of weeks, has played very well, so he can fill in nicely.
Panthers have all of their timeouts. And no hurry here with 1:15 to go. First down run, Stewart, Wilbur, and Lee. And the Cowboys give up 3 more to Jonathan Stewart.
Ron Rivera loves this offense. Why? He played linebacker when he was in the pros. He coached linebackers, defensive coordinator. Because I love the way Cam decides what play to call, and it's always inside 5 seconds. They shorten the football game. They're not afraid of playing it close. They got big playmakers. If they need to try to get it down the field or make a play on the defensive side, which we've seen today.
Well, look how they use the clock here, moving to the half-minute mark. 2nd and 7. Again, all their timeouts, electing not to go one there to the back of the end zone and thrown away with 24 seconds. And again, the Verizon halftime report is coming up, and we'll be taking you at that point back to the studio to JB and the crew in New York. Plus, we'll return here for the concert at halftime by Luke Bryan.
Well, big down for this Cowboy defense. It really is. To just give up 3 after everything that's gone wrong. Can they find a way to get pressure to make Cam Newton throw the football away?
From the pocket, down to the 3, and the catch is made, and a timeout called. It looked like maybe an extra second or 2 should have been added to that. Picks up 12, timeout Panthers. Cotchery with the catch sets up the Panthers at about the 2.
Well, they're trying to play it safe. The Cowboys defense, they fake it, which a lot of teams run down the middle of the field on that look. He sold it to Rolando McClain, stopped, and Cam Newton, as usual, did not hold back and fired it in there.
16 seconds and with 2 timeouts. And Romo trying to gather himself here after the Cowboys' disastrous first half.
Yeah, it's going to be, as they would say, it'll be some gut check at halftime by this Cowboys football team. You've got to talk yourself into coming back out knowing your season's on the line.
Fake to Tolbert, up top, end zone, and dropped at the last moment. It was Olsen who had his hands on it, and it was stripped away by Byron Jones, the rookie we talked about.
Going across the back of the end zone. Ooh, Olsen had it in there. Couldn't help. Jones knocked it out.
Yeah, second swipe at it. He got a hand on it.
He got that finger on it, knocked it out, and he's big enough, fast enough, long arms so that he can cover tight ends and wide receivers when you talk about Jones.
Olsen never had it clean. So 2nd and goal, 12 seconds. 2 timeouts. You want it, you could run it here. You got the timeouts in your pocket. To the end zone, and incomplete. Sean Lee helped break it apart from Ed Dixon.
Sean Lee knocks it out. Dixon coming across the field, number 50 against 84. Never caught it cleanly, but good job by Lee, staying with him. Always tough to do to cross the field. Like I always say, worrying about the other team's receivers and your own guys running into them.
Well, 7 seconds.
They're going to make them throw it. Look how many people are around the line of scrimmage. by the Dallas Cowboys.
And a timeout called. Garrett ran down the sideline to call it.
Second charge timeout. Dallas. This is a 30-second timeout.
I think Jason Garrett called a timeout here. Let's go over exactly what we're going to do. Make sure we're ready because he knows there's a big difference between 27-3 and 23-3.
And remember, Carolina deferred and will be receiving the third quarter kickoff. There's Jerry Jones. Stephen and Jerry Jr. alongside. They also understand the importance of this very snap with 7 seconds to go in the half. To the end zone, broken apart, but a flag is thrown with 3 seconds. Going to Funchess. Jones was the defender.
There is no foul on the play for pass interference. It's an incomplete pass, 4th down.
So they pick it up, and it's broken apart by Byron Jones. Rookie on rookie here. Yeah, there was nothing you could call there.
I think it's a good no call, good picking up of the flags. I know there was a little grabbing there, but what a nice play by Jones, getting that right hand in front.
So he broke up the first down play and the third down play. Saved touchdowns on both occasions. So it brings out Graham Gunnell, 20-yarder to close the half. Another whistle. And a flag on the field.
Ball start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I'll tell you what, that stop by the defense, that was 3 tough throws. They broke up 3 passes, and that has to give you a little hope if you're a Cowboy player that, all right, we made that stand. That's got to make you feel a little bit better going in at halftime. Going to have to change their game plan for sure, probably on both sides of the ball a little bit when they come back out in the second half.
And 25-yard kick, it'll be from the right hash. Gunnell connects for the 3rd time in the half. Carolina with 13 points in the final 3.5 minutes. And remember, the third quarter kick. 23-3 lead Panthers. 184 yards of offense versus only 98 by Dallas. Cam Newton, 11 out of 19, 120 yards. Not a single offensive touchdown to be found. But that defense came up huge for the Panthers. Let's go to Tracy.
Lot, Jim. Coach, 3 interceptions by Tony Romo. Can you pinpoint what the struggles can be related to?
Yeah, the turnovers are the story of this game. Obviously, they returned 2 of them for touchdowns and great field position on the last one. I think just trying to be aggressive down the field with the football. They've done a good job getting deep in their zones. We have to throw the ball underneath. We have to sustain drives. We can mix the run and the pass. I think our defense has done a nice job stepping up and slowing those guys down.
You mentioned being aggressive. Des Bryant, no catches tonight so far, so how do you get him more involved?
I think the biggest thing, again, goes back to the takeaways. That limits our opportunities. If we didn't get into the rhythm of a drive by mixing run and pass, we'll get everybody involved.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Jim?
That's the end of the first half with the score. Carolina 23 and Dallas 3. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. We're ready now for the start of the second half. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, along with Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey here in the booth. For any rules clarifications, the Cowboys to kick to Carolina as the Panthers deferred at the start. The last team with 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns on Thanksgiving. The Raiders did it in 1967 against the Hall of Famer Lynn Dawson. And we'll see Newton and company from the 20 No, you think the guys really need some sort of chip going into a game like this. Carolina all week long coming into the game was a slight underdog here. Do you think that played it all into the way we saw them run out here in the first half?
I've seen them play like this a lot this year, but Ron Rivera said it was disrespectful when somebody asked him that question. But just to talk about this game, though, real quick, Jim, for the Cowboys to get back in it, their defense has got to play great. Find a way to get a turnover, get some 3-and-outs, give your offense some field position. But to answer your question one more time, they're sure playing like they got a chip on their shoulder when you watch Carolina.
They give it to Stewart on the first play of the third quarter. Stewart now with that rush, 9 carries for 35 yards. First half numbers look like this. Dallas 16 on the ground, 98 total, and again the 3 turnovers. Stewart again in traffic, taking Cowboys with him and fighting for that 30-yard line. I'm not sure he got there. It's going to be inches short. 3rd and half a yard to go. Down to you, Tracy.
Well, Jim, obviously Ron Rivera very pleased with his defense. He said we didn't get the sacks, but we got enough pressure on Tony Romo to force him into some bad throws. Offensively, he said we need to punch it in down there. We're having some missed opportunities. But he told his team, remember, we're 0-0 mentality right now. He said Tony Romo's come back on a lot of teams, and we can't let him get started, Jim.
Yeah, you hear a lot of teams talking about one game at a time. Carolina, we heard it from a lot of them yesterday. 1 quarter. 1 game at a time, and that's a first down pickup. And it's hard not to look ahead. I mean, you got Dallas coming in, and they couldn't help but look at the scope of the season and think that, hey, we need to win out. They were thinking in terms of what the next 6 weeks could bring. Carolina was talking to us about playing 1 quarter at a time against Dallas.
Well, Jim, a couple things. Just when you look at this Carolina team in person and you see them, it's one thing to watch them on TV, but to see them in person and see how big and how fast they are at so many positions, you kind of understand why they're 10-0.
Shaking off Lawrence. And now just throwing it out of bounds with the flag on the field.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Called on Trey Turner as the Panthers and the Patriots find themselves 10-0. These two who met in the Super Bowl down in Houston a little more than 10 years ago. There you see the comparison between the unbeatens. New England with a game at Denver this Sunday night.
Well, starting 10-0 means you're a good football team. Maybe you got lucky once or twice, but you're setting yourself up where you can get that bye week, get a playoff game at home. Man, that's a much easier road to go to the Super Bowl when you do it that way.
Bears shooting down the field, and Funchess was covered up by Brandon Carr. Tell you, when multiple teams start 10-0 or better, we're talking about since 1940. Back in 90, the Giants and the 49ers, you guys met in the NFC Championship game that year later on. And then the Colts and the Saints, they would meet down in Miami. We were there for that Super Bowl. And now you have these two. So, again, percentages, you get to 10-0, a high probability you could end up in the end in the big game. Of course, Ron Rivera was on the 85 Bears. That team that got off to 12-0 before losing to Don Shula's Dolphins. Ball's on the floor, and Newton's able to cover it up. So it's going to be 3rd and forever here for Carolina. That lost a couple. 3rd and 22 on the way.
Well, Cam Newton just mishandled the football as he was going to make the read. Could have been, I think he was just going to hand it off. But this is what the Dallas Cowboys need. They need this for their defense, but they need to stop them right here so they can get some good field position for their offense.
That's on me, he looks to the sideline and says. Pressure on Cam, backing up, and he's taken down at the 1. Tyrone Crawford buries him back inside the 5 and near the goal line.
3-man rush. Tyrone Crawford, number 98. Oh, for some reason, that's just a bad mistake. The guy that's lined up head up over the center, you can't let him have that one-on-one where he can go right or left against one guy. So Trey Turner turned away too quick, and what a play by Crawford.
How many times have you heard of 4th and 40? That puts Nortman right on the back edge of the end zone. The Dallas defense stepped up right before the half, and they do so again. That punt very nearly hit the giant monitor above the field as Whitehead tackled at about the 48. It was a 57-yard boot. An 18-yard sack by Crawford. NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today. Save up to 20% off at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com. Now, off the Crawford play, can the Dallas offense feed off of just a little bit of momentum? Nothing's gone their way so far with this unit. And all kinds of confusion here, stumbling out of the gates and a loss of 3. Dallas, third play of the game, an interception return for a touchdown by Kurt Coleman, a punt. The one drive they had broke down inside of the 10, a punt, and then back-to-back pick plays by Luke Kuechly, his first career 2-interception game, and the first one produced his first career NFL touchdown.
Running the football, difficult all day. Everybody talked about it at halftime in the studio show. Don't like their chances of just lining up and running.
2nd and 13. First catch of the night here for Dez Bryant. And he's hammered from behind, but not until he races to the Carolina 35 and a gain of 17.
Well, that's a big story of the game. How are you going to get Dez Bryant involved in what's going on? You need to. It was his own defense. Thomas Davis tried to push him, knock him off his route, but a good job of staying with it and picking up that first down. Look, if they can find a way to score here, the Dallas Cowboys, how big, Jim, was that stop and held Carolina to 3 points right before half? And a good start by the defense here in the second half.
Given 20 with that play, and there's a diving catch by Bryant, getting him into the game here to start the third quarter.
Well, he is, besides Tony Romo, your best offensive player, so that should always be part of what you're trying to do. Boy, that's
Thomas Davis. Yeah, coming right in on Romo. Saw him coming and ducked after the release.
I would duck too. The linebackers, you got a big defensive front for Carolina. We said it. Very fast linebackers. What a great combination for today's NFL.
So after back-to-back completions to Dez, he goes to the Dallas sideline. Try to activate that running game, which has been held in check, and it is again for no gain. Now 9 carries for McFadden for 2 yards.
Well, the bounce out, what we saw right there, pretty tough to do. Man, it comes down to this. We don't give the credit a lot of times to defensive linemen or offensive linemen, but Star Lotulelei and K'Wan Short have been terrific inside. And they're allowing Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis to run free and make all these plays that we see, Jim.
It's a 3rd and 3, and you wonder, down 20, would they possibly be in 4-down territory? Kuechly trying to read Romo's signals. Over to Escobar, and they, in fact, look like they did have a complete read on it. Knocked down right away by Colin Jones. And knocking him back means they'll bring out Bailey for the field goal.
Tony Romo thinks it's a blitz. That's why he calls this outside screen, trying to get the blocks and try to squeeze the wide receiver up the field.
This pass to Escobar gives back one, and Bailey now on the field for a 48-yard field goal.
See how fast Luke Kuechly got outside to react to that little screen?
He's everywhere, and Bailey connects for the second time in this game. Still a 3-score game, though. Cowboys with Bailey from 48 out. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Dr. Pepper, football and Thanksgiving. It's a one-of-a-kind tradition. And by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. I think that's where Lance Barrow, our producer, spends most of his nights when he's at home, which isn't home all that often. Hard 8 barbecue.
Well, we had a little bowling tournament the other night. We brought in some food from the Hard 8. Pretty good stuff. A lot of fun.
Kind of hard to eat ribs and then
bowl at the same
time. I've got to question your
and I'm going to say this
on your menu selection.
You're getting closer every year. You are going to win that tournament one year.
168. I don't know. You know, best I can do.
Competition's tough.
Hi, I'm Tony Romo of the Dallas Cowboys. On behalf of my wife Candace and my sons Hawkins and Rivers, we just want to wish you a happy
Thanksgiving!
They're going to be having their Thanksgiving tomorrow for about 15, including Candace's family. Meanwhile, up in his hometown on the outskirts of Burlington, Wisconsin, Romero and Joan Romo today, actually, right now, hosting about 50. Watching and feasting and hoping there can be some sort of big turnaround here. And here's a give to a sprinting Jonathan Stewart for 7.
Well, they spread you out. They run the zone read. And what is Cam Newton? The zone read. He reads Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy goes for the tackle. Nice block at the outside by Michael Orr. And then he can stand in the pocket. Doesn't get enough credit for this. Doesn't care if people are around him getting ready to hit him. He can stand there and still rifle the football down the field.
The Cowboys' Nick Hayden is down on the field, and the training crew from the Cowboys is there working on him. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AARP, Real Possibilities, and by Macy's. Nick Hayden was able to get up and walk to the sideline, but now being taken in as the Panthers have a 2nd and 3. Mid-third, 23-6 Carolina. There's Stewart. He's got enough for the first down. You know, we haven't talked a whole lot about Greg Hardy matching up here against his former team. Drafted in the 6th round by Carolina back in 2010. We were here in October for his first game as a Cowboy against New England, and we voiced our opinions on that day. But here he is in his 7th game as a member of the Dallas organization. Didn't help them win any games until Romo returned, but he's been bombastic. We've seen that on the sideline with teammates and coaches in some other games. Late for some meetings, even dismissive of his former team, calling them just a nameless, faceless opponent during the week. And Stewart tiptoeing for about another 4. So Jerry Jones met with him leading into the game this week to discuss the never-ceasing distractions, whatever you want to call it. And Jones came away saying he thought that Hardy understood and has agreed to really work on his behavior.
Well, you know, I'll say this, I'll make it quick. I think he knows the situation he's put himself in, or he does now, and your conduct, it can't be good. It's got to be perfect on and off the field. That includes how you treat your teammates and how you act on the sideline.
Here is Tolbert with the carry, and that's near another first. I believe he's got it.
How about this? You know, the Cowboy defense has a good stand. The offense had a chance. But this Carolina offense doesn't panic, and they just come out and they run the football for 2 first downs.
Puts Carolina over 100 rushing. And that's significant because that's now 22 consecutive games that they've rushed for at least 100 yards.
Well, when you got a good offensive line, good running back, and of course a quarterback that can move too.
By the way, Seattle comes into the week with 21 straight games of 100 rushing or more, and Newton actually gives back 2, so they're still right at 100. Give you an idea of what kind of accomplishment that is. The last team to reach 23 straight games, as you see Newton on the zone read, and well played here by the Cowboys. Sean Lee, and then Jones coming up. You have to go back to 77 and 78. The Houston Oilers had a streak of 23 consecutive games where they rushed for over 100 yards back in the Earl Campbell days.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, well, how did they do that? Oh, that's it. Big Earl. That's right. But Cowboys, so little room for error as this team goes along, or as this game goes along. They need to make a play, a couple plays, to keep Carolina out of scoring opportunities.
2nd and 12, and the Cowboys close in. McLean on the screen to Stewart, and another play for a loss, back-to-back.
Really good read by Rolando McLean. Very smart defensive player. Stays out there, number 55, the whole game. Passing situations, 3rd down, and he read it, got over there, and made the tackle. It's amazing how many times we see linebackers down the league that stay on the field every play. The effort against the run, of course, against the pass, tough to do.
3rd and 17. Can't get the first unless they get all the way to the Dallas 44. Here comes a blitz. And the pass, good for the first down to Cotchery. Right in front of Heath. This is the 3rd time on 3rd and long they pick up 24 yards exactly to move the chains.
This is just a different offense. Cotchery came across the middle, then went back outside. And why I say different, because when it's 3rd and long, Jim, they're not looking to throw a screen, run a draw. They are looking to go down the field and get the first down. And Cam Newton even told us he loves to talk on the field. Talks to the other player. I think he was talking to himself right there.
Yeah, he had to love that throw. He loved the way, too, that they picked up the blitz. Gave him the time to find Cotchery. Now he slings that sidearm to get around the defender, and it's incomplete in the direction of Tolbert. That was Wilbur bearing in on him. Tomorrow, the SEC on CBS. In the holiday mode, Missouri taking on Arkansas. Then Saturday, it's the Iron Bowl between the Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers. Cam Newton knows all about that matchup.
It does. You know, and I think of this Carolina team as before the season, I thought, well, the downfall is going to be the fact, Jim, that they don't have the receiving core that we see all these other teams in the league have. But they have good, very good speed on the outside, and now they play because of the run game, makes it easy to be a wide receiver.
Here is Newton. He's still scratching out every little yard he can get. That's Crawford on his back, and he carries Crawford with him for 7. Well, you look at the kids table, everything Thanksgiving theme here. Wide receiver ranks, they're 29th. Their leading wide receiver is Ted Ginn with 30 catches.
Well, Ted Ginn fits this offense perfectly. We talked about the run game. What do you want outside? Somebody that can stretch the field, take advantage of the fact that everybody's trying to stop the run.
And he hasn't caught one today. Philly Brown, by the way, is inactive. But Cotchery's having a good go of it. 4 catches, 62. And that pass incomplete on 3rd and 3. Trying to go back to Cotchery again on a 3rd down.
Good stand by the defense. Good coverage that time by Tyler Patman. He had Cotchery covered. Nothing Cam Newton could do.
It's been a big day so far for Graham Gano. Already 3 for 3, and another chance at a field goal measuring 48 yards. Gano's kick. Good again. Now we got a flag down, though. Might have been a Cowboy player. I believe it was Byron Jones. Looked like he was hurtling over the line and may have climbed up the back of one of his teammates. That was on a 4th and 3 play. I'm already seeing the Carolina offense, including Stewart, starting to head back out on the field. They think this is going to be against Dallas. It's going to give them a first down. They'll take the points off the board.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the defense with leaping. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, they never identified him, but that's who it is. It's on Byron Jones. Mike Carey. You see Jones right here.
And here's the rule. You cannot come from off of the line of scrimmage, leap and land on players. You saw him land on an opponent. That's 15 yards, automatic first down.
This was a rule that has been not only emphasized but enforced because of safety. It was the backbone of this becoming a really big part of the NFL this year. The last couple of years.
Yes, all of these rules are meant for safety, and this is one that we need to keep in the books.
Well, that was a huge mistake.
Yep.
Not only field, but all that, everything, time on the clock. You got to know the rules in that situation. Bad mistake by Jones.
And Stewart climbs to the 10. Boy, Stewart does a lot of his running between the tackles and finding just miniature creases. And you look up, next thing you know, he's got 5 or 7 yards.
The best thing you can say is he runs hard, which we've seen and talked about. And you take that along with the offensive line, it wears guys down. Wears the defense down. We're seeing some of that here already in the second half.
2nd and 5. I'll try to go outside. It's not there. Cowboys, 4 of them fall on him, including Barry Church, who was shaken up in that first half. It's back out there.
Hard to just toss the football and go wide in the NFL now. Just the talent of defensive linemen, the speed of the linebackers. When you get outside, most of the time it's some type of gimmick play, or the running back's going inside and bounces it out there.
This is a drive now that's approaching 6.5 minutes. It started back at the Panthers 20. 3rd and 10. Open is Cotchery. Sidesteps the defender and has the first down. The Cowboys, Patman had him, and he broke away. Otherwise, it would have set up a field goal try had he made that tackle. Gain of 11.
Well, they're playing a defense that's going to make you throw it underneath. In other words, we're going to give you some yards. We're just going to come up and make the tackle. But Cam Newton rifles the football out there so quick. It gave Cotchery just a little bit of extra time to make Patman miss and know where the first down marker was.
4th time that Cotchery, 4 times, has picked up first on a 3rd down catch. I love even now you're saying rifle. That was the one thing that was great on you. You got to agree, that's the way to describe it.
It is.
1st and goal. And timeout called by Carolina.
Well, a lot of people talk, oh, he needs his fundamentals and this and that. I think he's really probably a better thrower of the football when he's kind of falling back. He talked about it, Jim, to us last night. His father worked with him. But when he's off balance and stays on his back foot, he throws a little bit sidearm, but he controls the football very well.
Let's take a look at today's nationwide Skycam. Yeah, we started to tell you that his father, Cecil, was a safety. We said, who taught you how to throw the football? Because he can really spin it. And he said it all started with his dad. Again, cut in camp by the Cowboys. His dad, back in '83, later cut by the Bills in a tryout.
Well, he didn't listen to everything his dad said because his dad said, Cam, we know you can throw it hard. Take something off of it. Well, yeah, there's very few passes in this game where he hasn't thrown all out as hard as he can.
14th play of this drive. And a 1st and goal. And it's Cam Newton tumbling in for another touchdown. The first offensive touchdown of this game.
Well, the Cowboys said it many times, they'll say it one more time. They were hoping that Carolina would make the mistakes, but the 3 interceptions, the penalty by Jones.
Well, he knew where a Panther fan wearing his jersey was sitting, didn't he?
Sure did. And somebody says, oh, his celebrations and he has so much fun. And my comment is, well, of course, it's easy to have fun when you're one of the best players out there. And he just makes it look so easy. Such a force like I've never seen a quarterback.
That was a drive that took up half the quarter. And the extra point makes it 30-6. We were here. We talked about when New England came to town. That was a 30-6 final, Patriots. That's our score today, third quarter. You're looking right here at the quarterbacks of the 3 highest scoring teams in the NFL this year. Combo platter, rush and pass touchdowns on the season. Cam Newton now with 20 up top, 7 on the ground, 27 total. That matches the combination touchdowns by both Brady and Palmer. And I've seen you on the dance floor, so I will defer to you to give a score on this one.
Little twist. That was pretty good. Oh, man. Oh, he's got it all going. Well, Ron Rivera said, I want him to be himself. And there's the 2 dances you see. Put him on his shoes, Jim. I never would have thought of that. Got to remember that when I go to my next wedding.
Boy, all decked out in this color rush, they call it.
Yes.
All the way to the soles of the shoes. Made for dancing after that play. Romo with nowhere to go just throws that into the ground. It was a rough go actually last year for Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. Back-to-back years. They went against the Eagles here, and Tony didn't have any touchdowns in that game and a couple of picks.
Well, this is more than just, well, Tony Romo's interceptions definitely turned this game around, but physically, as you sit at home and you watch this, you can see physically that Carolina, even without the interceptions, is just a better team.
Yeah, it goes well beyond just the way that Tony's playing here today. And again, they crash in on him. Thomas Davis will close out the third quarter with a sack. Uh-oh. Tony grabbed that left shoulder for a moment. Oh, boy.
You know, he took a lot of hits last week against Miami, Jim.
Yes, he did.
He was under pressure a lot, but he avoided the big hit. In other words, where they didn't land on him or get him in a position where he couldn't protect himself. He told us yesterday morning, we were talking to him out at the complex after practice. He said he was sore after the game, but football sore, nothing about the injury.
Wife Candace. Grim-faced here in Dallas after Tony Romo has gone through the broken clavicle back in September. The 2 back surgeries he's dealt with.
Well, he's been a terrific player over the years. Thomas Davis gets there late. Oh, yes, turned his left shoulder and fell right on it.
Stunned silence here to close out the third quarter. Carolina leads at 30-6. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Now, Tony Romo with that left clavicle re-injured. The one that was broken back on September 20th. The second game of the season at Philadelphia. Was IR designated to return, came back just last Sunday. Matt Castle comes in on a 3rd and 20. And a dump off here to McFadden. And of course, Castle was the second quarterback to come in relief of Romo. After the first 2 wins, Romo out. Brandon Whedon went the next 3 weeks. He's now down in Houston. Matt Castle had 4 starts. Romo returns. You've talked about a couple of times how rusty he was in Miami, but still he engineered a win, toughed it out.
Yeah, but let's make it clear here. In my eyes, those backup quarterbacks gave this team a chance to win quite a few of those games. The defense let them down, I'd say at least 3 times where they had the game in hand.
Yeah, they could have won like 6 of those 7 games. They lost 2 of them in overtime. They lost 3 others on a last possession of the game. They had Atlanta really down big early in that game.
Yeah, you talk about that Atlanta game. They had control, and then Atlanta just started running the football and took the game over.
And this is going to, of course, raise a whole lot of questions about did he come back too soon?
Well, I'm sure he was pushing the envelope when he came back.
Question.
And they preset the date. They said this is when we think he's going to come back. He came back exactly on that date. And, talking to Tony Romo yesterday gave us no indications that his left clavicle was a problem, and pretty happy with the way he felt coming out of a Miami game.
Remember, we did ask him if he was eligible, if he didn't have to sit out a certain number of weeks on the IR, would he have been ready maybe even a week earlier? Here you see Davis lands on Romo and just crushes that left side that absorbs all of the hit.
And what did Romo say?
He said it would have been really iffy if I could have been back a week earlier had I been eligible. Which tells you quite a bit right there.
Yeah, it does.
He was right borderline. Flag down and Stewart gets the carry.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, next Thursday, rivalry time, NFC North. They had quite a game a couple of weeks ago with the Lions winning at Lambeau. It'll be Green Bay and Detroit, CBS and NFL Network. Then 2 weeks out, Minnesota and Arizona. That could have great importance on seeding come playoff time, both having solid seasons. And again, we'll be in Detroit for the Packers-Lions next Thursday night. There is Olsen, middle of the field. His father is here, famed high school coach back in New Jersey.
Seam pass right up the inside. Good job by Olsen, widening the defense. And look at Cam Newton, looks it off and just lets it go.
That is a 31-yard pass play. The longest offensive play of the game. And Newton's 4th completion that went for over 20. Stewart for another 2. Tracy, let's check in with you.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys just told me that Tony Romo is in the locker room right now getting x-rays on that left collarbone. No more word other than that, but obviously he is out for the game, Jim.
This was not the script. They just came in here. I don't know. We spent better part of the day over at the Cowboy facility, and there was, you try to read what this confidence means, but this was at a super high level coming into this matchup.
Well, the leader was back. I understand.
Stewart met at the line. By the way, at the end of this game, one player will be selected as the recipient of the Phil Simms All-Iron Most Valuable Player Award, and you, the fans, can help decide the winner by voting now at CBSSports.com. You saw past the whistle there, Greg Hardy and Michael Orr.
Yep.
They both come from Memphis, rival high schools, and then they both ended up, in fact, at high school for 1 year before they went off to Ole Miss.
Michael
Teammates.
Orr, a valuable pickup during the offseason as a free agent, has done a tremendous job at left tackle for the Panthers this year.
3rd and 8. And that's to Olsen for just a couple. Met right away by Church.
Too, we haven't talked about the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. It's Mike Shula. And, of course, if the name sounds familiar, it should. Don Shula's son. But what a job he has done constructing an offense that has everything in it to really show the talents of Cam Newton. Ken Dorsey, quarterback coach, relays the plays into him. But it has a good college element to it, and of course a pro-style throwing offense down the field.
This will be 50 yards, Gano. And Gano for the 4th time. He had the one taken off the board because of a Dallas penalty. So Gano feasting here on Thanksgiving with another one. Today's Next Gen Stats are presented by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Well, what a performance by Carolina. I asked you during the commercial, if this is not the best team we've looked at all year, they're in the top 2 or 3 at worst. New England was very sharp when we saw them down here in Dallas. Denver, of course, their defense. But Carolina, they can match up against anybody.
Yeah, they're a big physical team, no question. At virtually every position.
Well, Cam Newton, we've talked about his throwing down the field, but how about, instead of a passing chart, let's look at his rushing chart. Where does he go with the football? He's going this way. When he goes left, he gets none up the middle. We see the touchdown in the middle, but the 2 big gains off tackle, 10 and 11 yards, and it's just the fact, it's not even his running, it's that he avoids loss of yards sometimes with his running.
All right, let's take a look at Next Gen Stats. You saw it by Esurance. And a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, I'll say this to the Dallas Cowboy offensive line and everybody out there, you better keep ahead in the game, because in situations like this, Jim, what do you think the defensive line's thinking? Go ahead and run a draw. I don't care. They're going to the quarterback.
Yeah, they're ready to just put up some numbers here and get some sacks. There's a catch out to about the 21. Terrence Williams, first catch of the game. Goes for 6.
When you think about this game, Dallas's offense really never got going. It never got untracked where you think, wow, they've got this Carolina defense thinking and reacting instead of going after it. But Carolina has been all over every play.
2nd and 9. Castle decides to take off and slides for about 4, maybe 5, and that pushes their rushing total now to 19 for the game. That's after giving up only 14. Carolina last week yielding 14 to Washington.
Well, Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, the 2 linebackers who make so many tackles and are everywhere, they got a great offensive line. I know it's the defensive line, but they get protected so well, they can stop a lot of plays.
3rd and 4, and it's back to Williams for the first down at the 39. Gain of 13.
Good throw and read by Matt Castle. Oh, look at the difference. When you look inside that time, Colin Jones ready for the inside route by Cole Beasley. Got beat early in the game, not since.
Touchdown throw. Williams not able to quite reel it in. Williams, who had a touchdown catch last week against the Dolphins.
Good delay, good push off, good throw by Matt Castle. But like everything for the Dallas Cowboys today,
it's just off.
Not much going right.
Des Bryant to the right side. 2 catches, 26 yards for Bryant today. Castle jumps up and throws it over to McFadden for 3. This NFC East, the Cowboys on their way to dropping to 3-8. Philadelphia's already lost today, giving up 45 points for the 2nd straight game, dropping to 4-7. We have not given Dallas the loss yet here on the graphics.
Well, you look at this game, you think of the games this weekend, the Giants.
Gets the Redskins. Here is Castle to an open Witten. Moving it to the Carolina side of the field for 14.
The Giants, and why that becomes, a huge game for the division title, because after we saw Philadelphia today, there's no reason to think that they're going to run the table. And as you watch the Cowboys here, no reason to think that they're going to, hey, get over this game. They're going to need 10 days to get over this game, but where they could go out and win the following 5 games.
Castle, that ball comes out. Scooped up, no. Who wants it? Well, they call it incomplete pass.
That's going to be...
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. It's second down.
Mike Carey. It was Colin Jones coming in on Castle.
This is a tuck rule in play. This one could be challenged because the ball was coming back. It'd be a good one to take a look at.
On they go, 2nd and 10. There's a tough catch made by Williams in traffic. Now, one other thing about Philadelphia, again, back-to-back games surrendering 45. Also back-to-back games, they've given up 5 touchdown passes. First to Winston, today to Stafford. Next week they play at New England. I think Tom Brady's a fantasy start every time he plays, but man, if you have him on your team, you're looking pretty good as we get late in the regular season.
I was going to say, what are you trying to tell me?
Your playoff time.
Give me one more hint what's coming up.
Yeah.
But it's truly unbelievable. How about the Detroit Lions? Just their last 3 games.
Yeah, 3 wins. All started with the win against Green Bay.
You scratch your head and you just can't. How does this happen in the NFL? But they turned things around. They shook up the coaching staff a little. Caught the players' attentions, and they played very well since.
Timeout Panthers, 6:46 to go. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. Bank of America. And by Zales. Declare your love with gifts from Zales, the Diamond Store. Here's the Phil Simms Annual Turkey Bowl. There's your champions. Ethan, Dwayne, Brian.
And I will say, they celebrated. Their celebration was better than Cam Newton's when you watch him score or do something well or throw a touchdown pass.
Congratulations on the victory.
Got to enjoy the victory, and they did.
1st and 10. Castle throws it toward the end zone. Jumping up in the air. Before it was Bryant, incomplete. Josh Norman broke it up. Boy, is he a good corner.
Yep, you talked about him early. It really never materialized into what we thought it would be. How about that? A little double move by Des Bryant, and Josh Norman not fooled at all.
Hey, this Norman, he has a brother, Mario. He's one of 5 brothers, but his brother Mario plays in the Arena League with Cleveland. He says, somebody, you'd be smart to pick him up. He's a hitter, and he plays in the secondary too.
I like when you ask Josh Norman, hey, did you think you were going to be a pro football player? And he says, of course. No, he goes, first he says, I knew I was going to be a pro at something. I just wasn't sure early in when I was young.
2nd and 10. That's about a 4-yard pickup over to Beasley. Just a reminder, the Thanksgiving Day triple header concludes tonight on NBC with the Bears and the Packers, and Brett Favre ceremony coming up at Lambeau Field. That one tonight. Yeah, Josh Norman was pretty pumped up. His mother, Sandra, drove up from Greenwood, South Carolina, rented a house, and made him Thanksgiving dinner last night on the eve of the game. Now that's incredible. That's pretty nice. Way to go, Mom. Here's 3rd and 6. Beasley's got the first. Twisted down and around the 16-yard line.
Well, good job by Matt Castle coming into the game. Nice, boy, what a route that time by Cole Beasley. I know it doesn't mean anything now, but a lot of good things said about him. They have found a slot receiver that can do run those little quick routes like we just saw there. Hard to cover one-on-one.
Castle and the Cowboys putting together a nice little drive, though. Castle sings it in there to the 9 to Witten. And that's good for 6. Witten's 3rd catch of the game.
You know, I'm sure at halftime, Ron Rivera was telling his football team, besides the fact, let's act like it's 0-0, which Tracy Wolfson told us, but they had big leads against Green Bay and Indy, and those games got tight and came down to the end. These players probably remember that, and a much better job coming out here in the second half today and closing things out.
Carolina timeout.
Carolina calls its 3rd and final timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
Hey, Phil, this is a day of giving thanks, and I'm going to keep this as upbeat as possible because I lost a very dear friend in my life earlier today, and I want to express, while I have this moment, gratitude on this Thanksgiving Day on behalf of an entire city and university for the great man Guy V. Lewis, the legendary University of Houston Hall of Fame coach. He passed away this morning. He took 5 teams to the Final Four, broke the color barrier in this part of the country with college basketball, inspired and mentored hundreds of young men, many of whom you know, like names like Elvin Hayes and Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon. Anyone associated with the program during his 30 years knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I think they would understand. I know how much you thought of him. You've talked about him numerous times over the years. He had a great life. He was a tremendous coach. And, man, I loved watching those teams play, too.
And Phi Slamma Jamma.
Oh, it was.
The innovator behind that. Gave him my start in television. Allowed a young kid to host his coach's show on television. 2nd and 4, Dallas. Coming out of the Carolina timeout. Castle all kinds of time. Now tucks it under. Ooh, he was smashed near the first down yardage by Kuechly. He's back up on his feet.
I think even the Dallas crowd is going, Luke. I'm just kidding. Of course, they're saying they're booing, but Matt Castle is a runner. So once he crossed that line of scrimmage, helmet to helmet, all those things do not matter.
Got him the first down. 1st and goal. To the end zone and too high. He was trying to take advantage of Bryant's one-on-one. Well, we got a flag. Flag, in fact, now a couple come out in the end zone.
Well, a lot of talking that you saw early in the game. With Josh Norman and Dez Bryant. So
after the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 24, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, those two have been jawing back and forth since Coleman's interception return on the 3rd play of the game.
Boy, look at that. Josh Norman sees the quarterback once again. You know, that is really not many guys that I, over the years, have seen where they can cover man to man and cover the guy down the field and see the receiver and the quarterback at the same time. It's really a tremendous talent. Says a lot about him.
From the 2, 1st down. Roll out, throw, caught, touchdown Beasley. Cole Beasley's 3rd touchdown of the season.
Well, Cole Beasley has been coming across the field, going inside so much. That time he got Colin Jones, faked like he was going inside, and they get the touchdown. Nice throw by Matt Castle.
Castle takes him on a 16-play touchdown drive.
Yeah, it was good. He threw the ball extremely well, moved in the pocket, picked up a first down running. Really a good job by Matt Castle.
And Dallas to go for 2. He's got it. McFadden. Dallas finds the end zone in the 55th minute of this game, and the 2. 80-play drive in 6 minutes for Dallas. We don't have an update on Tony Romo at this point, but again, injured the collarbone, the same one that kept him out for more than a couple of months. And it was a rough day for everyone out there for Dallas trying the onside kick. And the flag is down. You know, Tony, with all those picks, let's remember here that we're talking about a player that was coming in ranked number 3 all-time quarterback rating and number 5 all-time touchdown to interception ratio. It was just one of those bizarre afternoons. And
it's many things. It's the rust. You just can't shake it off. I mean, it's not that easy. This league is tough on everybody. I mean, we've seen it. I remember Peyton Manning in his prime missed the preseason. It took him weeks to get back in the groove, and it was a lot to ask of Tony Romo, but I just thought physically.
Offside. Kicking team, number 26. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. Carolina's ball, first down. Timeout.
That other parts of the team could overcome Tony Romo's rustiness, and this hit put him out for the year.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Febreze. Eliminate odors to stay guest ready all season long. Two defensive touchdowns today by the Panthers. For those of you just joining us, a Cam Newton rush for a score. 4 field goals by Graham Gano. And that's Stewart adding to his yardage. Cam knows how to find that end zone, doesn't he?
He knows how to find it. Look at all the reaching out. And he's got some pair of hands on him too, though. How about that? He gets hit and still holds on to the football. And look how high he got on his touchdown today.
It's a good one, that 360 eye vision. That's awesome. That was his 40th career rush touchdown. And that ties the late Jack Kemp for second all-time by quarterbacks.
I would have never guessed that.
Steve Young heads the list with 43. Just had a Cowboys timeout. 4:15 to go. And now the Panthers are ready to go here on a 2nd and 4.
Ready!
Cutting outside. Stewart. A foot shy of the first. 3rd down coming up. And another Dallas timeout. Just a reminder, Sunday a doubleheader day, winding up your holiday of football with the doubleheader on CBS. Miami and Jets, the feature game early in regional action, and then the full nation gets Pittsburgh and Seattle, and we'll be there for that one. We're heading to Seattle tomorrow to the Emerald City. It all starts Sunday at 12 noon Eastern time with the NFL Today. So Pittsburgh, Seattle will have a lot at stake for both sides in that one.
Can't wait to see it. It's going to be fun.
Hey, you're all iron voting, Phil. This is from the fans.
Yep, we see Luke Kuechly. Everybody on that page is deserving for a big. Jim, we need about 20 today, really, to give out to the Carolina Panthers.
So what are you going to do? Kuechly for sure. Runaway winner in the voting. Here's a 3rd and a foot, and plowing ahead and getting it with no issue there is Newton.
I'm going to make it easy.
Okay.
You saw the 5 vote getters there? The 5 that got it? I'll tell you. And you don't, but let me talk about Cam Newton before I talk about the All-Iron Award. You see all these antics. You see him celebrating the end zone. And I must be honest, it bothered me for a long time. I thought, man, you're the quarterback. Don't do that or whatever. But, I got over it because I understand it more now, the team. But if the owner, the front office, the head coach, and his teammates don't have a problem with it, then it sure as the heck isn't going to bother me. And Seems that, as Ron Rivera said, I want Cam Newton to play free, not think about certain things. And Jim, I'd say he plays pretty free, wouldn't you?
No question. He's playing with a whole lot of joy here today, as Tracy alluded to. Always dreaming of playing this game on Thanksgiving Day. How about the description he went through, talking about the smell of the holiday on Thanksgiving morning, growing up in College Park, Georgia, and between the Detroit game and the Dallas game, he and his brothers, Kalen and Cecil, they go around and throw the football around.
Hey, move it.
Couldn't wait to play on this stage. That's Tolbert falling down in the field of play. Dallas out of timeouts.
You know, if you're wondering why is Cam Newton still in the game, because, you know, for one, it's the NFL. There's not like they bring in the second team like you do in college and things like that. And it's handling the football. And you look at the clock, yes, I know it's over, but, you know, you just keep them in there. Maybe after this series, when you know the game is in hand, there's no chance you can make a mistake. That's when you take him out.
We discussed with him all of the talk about MVP being in the running. Didn't want to hear a whole lot about it, to be honest. That's McClain on him right away. He wanted to talk about how I can't put myself in front of the team right now. We won't get into that discussion with us. That's what he said. MVP, we'll shelve that for another day. Subway post-game show with JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cower, all the highlights and analysis. The awarding of the Phil Simms All-Iron Award. It's all coming up on the Subway post-game show. Jerry Richardson's built himself quite a team.
He has. Dave Gettleman, the general manager, got to give him a lot of credit. The draft picks have all come in. They're doing well. It's a big, powerful football team.
And didn't get it off in time. So to delay a game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And to go back, a lesson to be learned as you look at the Carolina Panthers. Patience. Not a great word in the NFL, is it? Among a lot of people. Fans.
You don't find that many people who really honor that word.
Yeah, I know. It's gone. And you just look at all the turmoil that we see in so many teams. But Jerry Richardson stayed the course. Ron Rivera was his man, and they've been rewarded.
It's going to be their 15th consecutive regular season win. Just amazing. And got knocked out in the divisional round by Seattle last year. That was on the road. They got to host as a division champ on Wild Card weekend and got a win against Arizona.
Well, Luke Kuechly said something that caught my attention last night. He said we were 12-4 a couple years ago. In 2011, I think it was. He said that was a good team. But this team, he says, this team is special. And today, they proved that to me.
I just see them February 7th. At Super Bowl 50. Just might. They are the 1 seed at the moment in the NFC. Coming out of the 2-minute warning. Graham Gano ready to add to his big day. Looking for field goal number 5. He's made from 49, 43, and 25. And kick. Oh, hold on a minute. Scooped up by the Cowboys. Off the block. And running it back is Sean Lee to the 45. It was Crawford. Remember he had that big sack early stages, quarter 3. He got a paw on it and blocked it. Crawford.
Number 98, watch him put his big hand up. Timed it just right. And boy, Sean Lee looked like probably played running back in high school.
Yeah.
Showed that talent running down the field, weaving in and out of the traffic.
Playing up at Upper St. Clair. For his legendary high school coach up there. Did all kinds of things. Here's Castle. puts Witten within 2 catches of 1,000 on his career. Here's the lineup tonight on CBS. Night of comedy, drama, all the trimmings, Big Bang Theory, Life in Pieces, Mom, Two Broke Girls, Elementary.
It just kind of shows you in this league, it's never over. And
I like Carolina's chances.
well, I do too, but you know, that's why you play it out.
Yep. Well, Dallas took all the timeouts. That was a catch by Rod Smith, a backup running back. And they spike it. Coming up, the Subway postgame show, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, and Phil Simms with the All-Iron Award and interview. Coming up, Subway postgame show. Castle's come in. He's hit 12 out of 17. 82 yards in the touchdown pass to Beasley. And down the field to an open Beasley. He had him.
Well, he had him, and what they did, it's a play we see a lot now in this league. He's going to go out and up. Second man through the zone. The outside guy, you see Josh Norman comes too far inside, and that's why Cole Beasley was wide open. Kind of saw the same type of throw early in the game by Tony Romo. When you move up in the pocket and you're moving forward fast, sometimes you overthrow wide open guys.
3rd and 10. Flag down, and down goes Castle as well. You know, just moving forward, if the Romo injury is as severe as we think it will be, they don't have another quarterback on the roster.
Holding. Offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Ron Rivera and his team 11-0, and next up, they'll be at New Orleans December 6th. Stay in the division with Atlanta at home at the Giants. They got Atlanta 2 out of 3 weeks, finishing up with Tampa Bay. Third and 20. Oh, collision there. Brings Castle to the ground. That's Ely. He's got a sack now for the 5th game in a row.
94, how about this? Coney Ely didn't even start today because Charles Johnson, back after being injured. This defensive line's deep.
You got Mario Addison down on the field. I was just bringing up this. What are the Cowboys going to do now if Romo is sidelined? As you would want to, just having seen the way he walked off the field, you have to think it's.
Well, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to go out and acquire another quarterback. There's no doubt about that. They had Brandon Weeden.
Released him.
Released him.
Picked up right away by Houston.
So.
And where did the Cowboys go from here? What do they rally around now? As they drop to 3 and 8.
Yeah, where do they go? You just you fight through the schedule, Jim. You just play. We see many teams that have nothing to play for. As you look at the Cowboys schedule coming up, many teams we see they have nothing to play for, and they still play very well and upset teams down the stretch.
They do have on the practice squad Kellen Moore, formerly with the Lions, Boise State quarterback who had a big college career. Here's Castle, 4th and 30. And Williams with a catch. 1 snap coming up by the Panthers to close it out. Again, Romo landing on that left shoulder. And that clavicle that was broken for the first time. Well, what did Jerry Jones say? It was broken in 6 places, he said. So back on September 20th. And Again, the Cowboys information was they were going to be x-raying it. They're in the process of doing that. We've got nothing new to add to that.
Really, no matter what, Jim, no matter what the outcome of the x-ray is, there's just no way Tony Romo should play any games the rest of this year.
Carolina Panthers. They wanted to show everybody in this window, on this big Thanksgiving stage, exactly what this team was about, and we got a pretty good look at it today.
Well, we did. Very impressive on both sides of the ball. Well-coached football team, but big, fast. It's a great combination in the NFL.
And listen, on behalf of all of our crew and to our loved ones, you see the standings here who couldn't be, they're here working today, couldn't be with their families. Everyone out here wanted us to have a chance to express their love for their families back home. Post-game show, Subway, coming up next. For Phil, Tracy, Mike Carey, Jim Nance saying so long from Dallas. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50.
Happy Thanksgiving.